If you're over 50 and you've noticed your hair getting thinner, or maybe you've seen more hair in your brush than you'd like, I want you to know something right now. You're not alone, and more importantly, this isn't something you just have to accept. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. The person who's tried expensive shampoos that promised miracles but delivered nothing. The person who's maybe feeling a bit self conscious about that widening part or that spot on your crown that's getting a little too visible. The person who remembers having thick, full hair and wonders where it went. Here's what this video is going to do for you. I'm going to give you a simple 3-step protocol that addresses the real root causes of hair thinning. Not 20 different things to overwhelm you, just 3 essential steps that actually work. And if you want to go further after that, I'll share some additional options. But these 3 steps, this is where you start. Now, before we dive in, I want to be clear. This information is educational and based on scientific research, but it's not a substitute for medical advice. Everyone's situation is different, so it's always wise to discuss any new supplements or treatments with your healthcare provider, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications. Now, let me be completely honest with you. If you've lost so much hair that you have completely bald patches, these natural solutions might not be enough to bring hair back to those areas. That's just the reality. But if you're in that early to moderate stage of thinning, where your hair is getting weaker, thinner, or you're seeing more scalp than before, you're in the perfect position to turn things around. So let's talk about what's really happening, and then I'll give you the exact protocol to follow. First, you need to understand something crucial. Your hair isn't just falling out randomly. There are real, specific reasons behind it. For most people over 50, hair thinning comes down to a few key factors. Stress plays a huge role. And let's be real, if you're in your 50s or 60s, you've probably experienced your fair share of it. That stress isn't just in your head. It's literally affecting your hair follicles, pushing them into a resting phase instead of a growth phase. Nutritional deficiencies are another major culprit. As we age, our bodies don't absorb nutrients as efficiently as they used to. You might be eating the same foods you always have, but your body isn't getting what it needs from them anymore. And here's the kicker. When resources are limited, your body treats hair as non-essential. It prioritizes vital organs over your hair. Harsh, but true. Hormonal changes also play a big role, especially for women going through menopause. But men experience this too with changing testosterone levels. And inflammation. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, sugar, and refined carbohydrates, you're creating inflammation in your body. That inflammation increases a hormone called DHT, which is basically the enemy of hair growth. Now, here's the good news. When you address these root causes with the right nutrients and treatments, your hair can respond. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Let me give you the 3-step essential protocol. This is where everyone should start. The first step, and this is the most important thing you can do for your hair, I'm not exaggerating, is collagen protein. Your hair, skin, and nails are literally made up of type 1 and type 3 collagen. That's not an opinion. That's biology. Now think about your current diet. When was the last time you consumed real collagen? Unless you're drinking bone broth every single day, you're probably not getting any. And that's a massive problem because collagen contains specific amino acids that you simply cannot get from regular protein sources. I'm talking about proline, hydroxyproline, and glycine. These are the exact building blocks your hair needs to be strong, elastic, and thick. Without them, your hair becomes thin, brittle, and weak. Here's what you need to understand. Get yourself a high-quality collagen powder. Look for one that comes from grass-fed cows or free-range chickens. The typical protocol that people follow and that studies have used is 1 to 2 scoops daily, usually mixed into coffee, tea, smoothies, or just water. Making this a consistent daily habit is key. Why am I so emphatic about this? Because the results speak for themselves. People who start using collagen powder consistently notice a real difference within just a couple of weeks. Their hair starts feeling thicker, stronger, more resilient. I've heard countless stories of hairdressers commenting on how much thicker someone's hair has gotten, completely unprompted. This is your foundation. Everything else builds on this. Now, the second essential step is zinc plus copper. And here's something that's going to surprise you. Over 1.1 billion people worldwide are deficient in zinc. More than 1 billion people. So, statistically speaking, there's a very good chance you're one of them. And zinc deficiency is probably the hidden culprit behind your hair loss. Let me explain why zinc is so critical. Zinc supports the actual growth of your hair follicles, those tiny pores in your scalp where hair grows from. Without adequate zinc, those follicles simply cannot function properly. No healthy follicles means no place for hair to grow. Zinc is also essential for producing collagen and keratin, the two main proteins that make up your hair structure. Without enough zinc, you end up with thin, brittle hair that breaks easily. And here's something fascinating. Zinc is needed to create an enzyme that controls the different phases of hair growth. If you don't have enough zinc, these growth phases get disrupted, and boom, you experience hair loss. Now, here's where most people make a critical mistake. They hear that zinc is good for hair, so they start taking zinc supplements. But they take zinc without copper. And after a few weeks or months, instead of their hair getting better, it actually gets worse. Why? Because zinc and copper work together like a seesaw. Too much zinc creates a copper deficiency, and copper is also crucial for hair health. Copper maintains your hair color, supports the structural integrity of your hair, and helps prevent thinning and loss. Here's the exact protocol used in most research. 40 milligrams of zinc per day, along with 1 milligram of copper. That's a 10-to-1 ratio. This balance is absolutely crucial. Don't just take zinc alone. You'll make things worse. Take them together in the right ratio every single day. And by the way, Even if you're eating foods high in zinc, like meat or shellfish, you're only absorbing 20 to 40% of that zinc at best. If you have gut inflammation, which is common as we age, or if you're under chronic stress, or if you eat a lot of grains, or if you're on certain medications or hormones, you're absorbing even less. So supplementation isn't optional, it's necessary. Now, for the third and final essential step, the topical treatment. And this is where things get really interesting. There was a scientific study that compared rosemary oil to minoxidil. You probably know minoxidil better as Rogaine, the leading over-the-counter treatment for hair loss. And guess what the study found? The results were almost identical. Rosemary oil performed just as well as Rogaine. The only difference was that rosemary oil caused less scalp irritation. Let that sink in. A natural essential oil performed just as well as the pharmaceutical standard. Rosemary oil contains a compound called rosmarinic acid that naturally thickens hair. But here's the real power. Rosemary oil blocks DHT, that hormone I mentioned earlier that causes hair loss. Of all the natural compounds available, rosemary oil is one of the most effective at stopping DHT in its tracks. Here's how to use it. And you have two options. Option 1. Buy a high-quality shampoo that contains rosemary oil and use it daily when you wash your hair. This is the simplest approach. Option 2. The traditional method that was used in the clinical studies involves mixing 5 to 10 drops of pure rosemary essential oil with about a teaspoon of warm olive oil or aloe vera gel. You massage this mixture into your scalp for about a minute, really working it in there. Leave it on for 30 minutes to an hour. Then wash your hair as normal. Most people following this approach do it 3 to 4 times a week. Either way works. Pick whichever fits better into your lifestyle. So those are your 3 essential steps. Collagen protein internally, zinc plus copper to fix the deficiency, rosemary oil topically. If you do nothing else, do these 3 things consistently for 6 months and watch what happens to your hair. Now, let me give you some realistic expectations because I don't want to overpromise. You're not going to wake up tomorrow with dramatically thicker hair. Hair growth takes time. Your hair grows in cycles, and you need to give your body time to shift from a loss phase to a growth phase. Most people start noticing changes within 2 to 3 weeks. Their hair feels stronger, looks shinier, has more body. But real visible improvement in thickness and density, that typically takes 3 to 6 months of consistent effort. And that's the key word, consistent. You can't do this for 2 weeks, not see dramatic results, and give up. You need to commit to this for at least 6 months to really see what's possible. But people who follow this 3-step protocol consistently, they see results, real, visible results. We're talking about 40 to 50% improvement in hair thickness. That's the difference between looking in the mirror and feeling discouraged versus looking in the mirror and feeling confident again. Now, if you want to maximize your results even further, let me share some additional things you can add to this protocol. But remember, these are bonuses. The 3 steps I just gave you are the essentials. You can add any or all of these if you want to take things to the next level. First, aloe vera. The standard approach involves drinking 1 cup of aloe vera juice daily, which is great for your digestive system and hormones, and it helps strengthen hair from the inside. Many people also apply aloe vera gel directly to their scalp 2 to 3 times a week as a mask before washing. Second, B complex vitamins with biotin. If you're experiencing hair thinning and you also notice that your energy levels aren't what they used to be, or you find it harder to focus, that's a sign you might have a B vitamin deficiency. Biotin specifically has been proven to strengthen nails, improve skin, and thicken hair. The typical dosage on most quality supplements is 1 to 2 capsules daily, preferably with a meal. Third, omega-3 fatty acids. These reduce inflammation, support hormonal balance, and nourish hair follicles. Research suggests an effective range of 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams per day of fish oil, cod liver oil, or flaxseed oil. Alternatively, if you prefer getting nutrients from food, wild-caught salmon, or other fatty fish several times a week provides similar benefits. Fourth, stress management. This is huge. Chronic stress literally makes your hair fall out. The most effective approaches, according to research, include practices like yoga twice a week, meditation for just 5 minutes daily, or regular walks in nature. The key is finding something that works for you and doing it consistently. Fifth, diet changes. An anti-inflammatory approach focuses on vegetables as the foundation of every meal, healthy fats like avocados and olive oil, and quality protein like grass-fed beef and wild-caught fish. Reducing sugar, processed foods, and refined carbs is also important, as these create inflammation that increases DHT. And if you're really serious about getting the best possible results, there's low-level laser therapy. Devices like the iRestore hair growth system use cold lasers to target your hair follicles, increase metabolism in the area, and put your hair into a growth phase. The standard protocol involves wearing it like a helmet for 25 minutes every other day, usually while watching TV or reading. It's an investment, but people who use these devices along with the nutritional protocol often see dramatic improvement. But again, all of these are extras. The core protocol is those 3 steps: collagen, zinc plus copper, and rosemary oil. Let me also mention something important about your diet, because even if you're taking all the right supplements, if your diet is working against you, you're fighting an uphill battle. If you're eating a lot of sugar, refined carbohydrates, and processed foods, you're creating inflammation. That inflammation increases DHT production, which directly causes hair loss. So make vegetables the foundation of your meals. Embrace healthy fats. Choose quality protein. And minimize sugar and processed carbs. Bone broth deserves special mention. It's one of the most powerful foods for hair health because it's rich in collagen, amino acids, and minerals. Many practitioners recommend consuming a cup of bone broth daily or using it as a base for soups to provide your hair with exactly what it needs. Here's the bottom line. You now know the three essential steps to naturally address hair thinning and hair loss: collagen protein, zinc plus copper, and rosemary oil. You know the bonus additions if you want to maximize results. And you know what to expect in terms of timeline. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? The choice is yours. But I'll tell you this: 6 months from now, you're going to wish you had started today. If you found this information helpful, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos where I share practical, science-backed natural health solutions. And if you know someone who's struggling with hair thinning or hair loss, share this video with them. Sometimes the best gift we can give someone is information that can actually change their life. Thank you so much for watching. And here's to your thicker, healthier hair. Start with those three essential steps. Be consistent and trust the process. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.